Go Parlay King Sports. Hey, coming off a 5-0 sweep yesterday in college football. That's what I'm talking about. See, I said it. I said week one was a fill out process just to see who is who and what's what. Week two, we was gonna go all the way in and get this money, and we did that. So if you one of my clients, hey, you cashed out with me yesterday. Our five winners: Kansas State minus 15 and a half, Colorado on the money line, Youngstown State plus 44. Thank you, Ohio State. Baylor plus 7.5. Man, the hook saved us. One off the hook. And then Virginia plus 7. That was a winner. Hey, that game was crazy yesterday because Virginia was losing to James Madison by double digits and shit. And then next thing you know, I start getting alerts from Virginia. Virginia touchdown. Virginia touchdown. Virginia touchdown and shit. They had got the lead right before the half, and they came out in the second half. They gave up a touchdown, and then they scored like 3 straight times in a row. Like Virginia has scored 3 straight times in a row to take a command, and they had an 11-point lead. They should have won the game yesterday for real. They was up. Virginia was up 11 going into the fourth quarter, and they lost that game. They let James Madison come all the way back in the fourth quarter and win the game. I think they won by 2 points or something like that. But yeah, yesterday was a great day for me. It was a great day for my clients. And we're going to keep it rolling into NFL Sunday today. Yes, it's finally here. NFL Sunday is finally here. Man, it's been a long time since we've seen the NFL. Well, we've been seeing preseason games, but I don't count preseason as a real NFL game. Today is the real deal, Holyfield. It goes down today. We just gonna keep these winners going, man. Like that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep pumping out these winners. We already got one winner. If you follow my 14 parlay in the NFL, we already got one with Detroit with 6.5. I gave you a winner, Detroit plus 6.5. That was a winner in week one. So still got that parlay still open. So that's a good thing. It's always a good thing when you got winners on deck. It's always good. It feels good to be a winner this morning because I know it was a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people that took L's yesterday. A whole lot of people that took L's. I was hearing people saying, take the I heard people talking about take NC State with the points. That was a loser. Then I heard people saying, I heard a lot of people saying this, talking about NC State plus the points was the lock of the week and shit. Like, the loser, straight up loser. Let me see what else. Any surprises? I think the only surprise, well, it was a couple of surprises in college football. One was how bad and terrible Baylor is, man. Baylor is terrible, man. Like they really is a real terrible, terrible football team. I mean, they had that game won yesterday, and they just debacled. They debacled straight down the stretch. Like they debacled down the stretch. They couldn't do nothing. The backup quarterback is trash. Like, the coaching is trash. Like they didn't get it done. Like they didn't get it done. Baylor fell off. Baylor ain't the same Baylor from 2-3 years ago or shit. Like Baylor is like bottom of the barrel now. They bottom of the barrel now. When you can't get a win at home you pretty much you garbage. You garbage. If you can't win at home, you garbage. You real talk. If you can't win at home, you garbage. And another surprise yesterday was the Alabama and Texas game, which I always say I stay away from marquee games. See, I ain't put no money on that game, but I stay away from marquee games. I stay away from games that be on TV, that be on the public's eyeball. I stay away from them games. I go and find games that ain't gonna be on TV or games that I know people ain't tuned into. Those are the games that I like put my money on. But Alabama, they got exposed yesterday to the fullest. Right? They got exposed to the fullest. You know, hey, why ain't nobody saying this, man? Like, maybe it's time for Nick Saban to retire, man. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's time for Nick Saban to retire, man. Maybe he already done tapped out. Just say he done did everything he could in college football, man. Like, so maybe it's time for Nick Saban to go ahead and pass the torch to somebody else, man, because he can't get the job done, man. And you damn near you in your 70s right now, man. You need to go ahead and retire, man. Enjoy your retirement, Nick Saban, because it is over in Alabama. And I said that before the season start. I said Alabama was overrated. I said they was gonna get exposed. I said they was gonna lose 4 or 5 motherfucking games this year, and they already took their first loss versus Texas. So that just confirmed everything that I already knew about Alabama. I knew that Jalen Miro, he had one good game against Middle Tennessee State, which you were supposed to look good against Middle Tennessee State because the talent level is not on your level. So you're supposed to look good versus him. This was the game against Texas was going to show me, or it was going to confirm to me that Alabama was just overrated as fuck. Like the only reason you got that high in the rankings is because of Nick Saban and his name and what he did for y'all over these years with all those national championships and all that shit. Man, that shit is over with, man. I keep trying to tell people, I say it's Kirby Smart. It's his time. That Alabama shit, that shit over with, man. That shit is over. That ship done sailed. They will not win another SEC championship or a national championship with Nick Saban on the mound. It's over with, man. That shit is over, man. It's over. You know, same thing with Clemson, Dabo Sweeney. That shit over with. Like, that's over with. I see at least 3 or 4 losses coming for Clemson. Same thing I do with Alabama. They got 4 losses coming. Alabama got 4 losses coming. They're gonna lose against LSU. They're gonna lose against motherfucking Texas A&M. You know, they're gonna lose against Tennessee. Man, I don't see Alabama beat none of them teams, man. And Jalen Miro, he got completely exposed yesterday. Completely exposed. He should have had 3 picks yesterday. It should have been 3 picks. Quinn Ewers, shit, he might win the Heisman. He might win the Heisman, shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the rest of his schedule is cakewalk. Looking at Texas schedule, man, that shit cakewalk, man. You know, they got, I think Oklahoma, like if they can get past Oklahoma, and Texas gonna win that conference hands down, and shit, with no problems. But yeah, it's over with for Alabama and Nick Saban. It's over with for that shit, man. That shit was overrated, man. Overrated. And you know what else that I should have known? I should have known in the spread when the spread came out and Alabama was only a touchdown favorite and shit. When the last time you seen Alabama just a small favorite like that at home and shit? The spread was telling me, like, look, man, Texas can win this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why the spread only 7. Texas can win this. If they thought Texas was going to get blown out, man, that spread would have came out 15, 16, 17 point spread and shit. You know what I'm saying? The spread tell you every motherfucking thing, man. Let me find. Let me look at my notes. It goes some more winners from yesterday. FIU plus 13. Cal plus 6.5. Washington State, that was the lock yesterday. Washington State plus the 6 and the money line. Georgia State was a lock yesterday. Eastern Michigan was a lock yesterday. Sam Houston State was a lock yesterday. Florida State minus 31 was a lock. Let's see what else. Stanford did not cover. They got blown out, which I kind of figured it, but I wasn't laying no 29.5. So I'll just sit back watching the game. But they did not come close to covering that spread. Right? They didn't even come close to that. Who else? Oh, Houston. Houston, man, this shit crazy. Like before kickoff, Houston was they was an 8.5, 9.5 point favorite against Rice yesterday. And I knew something was up because the spread kept dropping. And right before kickoff, Rice was like, they was on it. The spread went from 9.5, it opened at 9.5, and then it dropped all the way to 6.5 before kickoff. And I knew something was fishy about that. I'm like, why the spread dropped from 9.5 to 6.5 before kickoff? You would have thought it was going up because you know what I'm saying. Houston was the team that's favored, and that was a complete shootout. We talking about Rice coming out scoring multiple touchdowns, and then I don't even know how Houston came back and sent the game into overtime, like because they was down. Last time I looked at the score, they was down 28-0. It was 28-7 at the half. I said, "Oh yeah, it's over. It's over for Houston." Then somehow, some way, they got the game into overtime. They tied the game up. They went into overtime, and they lost to Rice in overtime. The same Rice team I seen down in Texas got blown out. Like they looked shitty. Like they did not look like a team that I wanted to back. You know what I'm saying? But shit. Next time you see Rice at home, man, I'm gonna have to get them a look because they look like they competent at home. They like one of them teams that only wins or only competes at home and then go on the road and just don't even give no effort type. That they one of them type teams. So I'll be looking towards them next week, see what they're gonna do, see what the spread is and all that. But I think that was an anomaly because Rice ain't. You can't sit here and tell me Rice can consistently put up points like they did yesterday, 44 points. Like I just believe Houston is just completely garbage on defense. Like they completely garbage on defense. They don't know what they're doing on defense down there in Houston. Houston ain't never been a team that known for some defense. Never. Now, since I've been watching college football, I ain't never known Houston as a team that knew how to play some defense. I just knew they was a team that knew how to score a lot of points. But when it comes to defense, they don't know what they doing. They don't know what they doing. And that coach down there don't know what he doing either and shit. Because that's a travesty for real. To be down 28-0 to Rice is a travesty, man. Like the coach should get fired for real. Like he should have got fired. How the fuck you down 28-0 to Rice? UCF almost got exposed yesterday too. Like they went out there to Boise State. They almost went down. Like they got the victory, but it was a tight tight slugfest, back and forth, kicking field goals all day. Like UCF went from scoring all them goddamn touchdowns on Kent State to kicking hella field goals yesterday. I think they kicked like 7 field goals yesterday and shit. Oklahoma was a winner yesterday. Rutgers was a winner yesterday. Rutgers covered the spread. Oklahoma covered the spread. UC covered the spread. Old Dominion won outright, covered the spread. They was getting 6.5. When I saw that Ohio State spread, I jumped on that immediately. I'm like, man, there's no way in hell Ohio State is gonna cover a 44-point spread. I don't care who they playing. That quarterback they got, he can't cover no spread like that. Like, and I'm gonna be real, man. Like that shit up there in Ohio State, man. That don't look like no national championship team. Shit, now it could be. It could be later on in the season as you get better and you get more games underneath your belt. But I just don't see it, man. I don't see it. I just don't. I don't see it at all, man. I do not see. I don't see Ohio State beating Michigan. I don't see Ohio State beating Penn State. I don't see Ohio State beating none of the top teams they need to. None of the top teams that they need to beat. I don't see Ohio State beating them teams, man. All right, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I don't see it, and I was just loving when I saw that spread. As soon as I saw, cause see the odds makers was taking all week to come up with that spread because they didn't drop that spread until Saturday. Right. I didn't know what the spread was until Saturday morning. And then when it came out, it was 44. I was like, man, that's a lock of the week right there. I'm like, that's locked, man. There's no way Ohio State covering this shit, man. There's no way. Like, there's no way. That quarterback they got, dude, can't cover no spread like that. Now, if the spread would have came out like 20, 25 or something like that, yeah, they can cover that, but not no goddamn 44 points. Like, nah, they ain't covering that. They ain't covering that. Like, they ain't covering that. Let me see what else we got over here. Congrats. I want to send a shout out to Coach Prime. It was looking shaky in the first half, Coach Prime, but I knew y'all was going to get the job done. That's why I took y'all on the money line. So shouts out to Coach Prime for that win. Shouts out to Youngstown State for covering that spread for me. Even though Baylor lost, shouts out to y'all. Y'all only lost by a touch. The hook saved me. So shouts out to y'all. Shouts out to Virginia. Shouts out to y'all, man. I took you plus the 7 because something was just fishy in that spread. Right. And I was just thinking, like, man, James Madison, they coming from Division 2. And I don't think they're gonna be able to cover a 7-point spread. And I was right about that. And shouts out to Kansas State, Will Howard. Shouts out to you, man, covering that 15-point spread for me and my clients yesterday. Shouts out to y'all, man. So those are the winners for this week. Kansas State, Colorado, Youngstown State, Baylor, and Virginia. Shouts out to y'all, man. Week 3 is coming right around the corner. We're going to get in the lab as soon as the spreads drop. The spreads probably will drop today for week 3. Vegas will release it because Vegas been slow lately, man, on these college football spreads because I normally get my spreads from Vegas. And they've been slacking. Like I've been getting spreads before Vegas. Like Like I find the spreads on the games before Vegas released the spread. Like, and that's crazy. Like Vegas supposed to release the spread first, and then I get the spread second. And it's been going the other way around. Like I've been getting the spread before Vegas been dropping it. Like either they've been slacking or they've been waiting. Like they take forever to drop the spread out online before I see it, but it should drop. Last year the spreads used to drop right after the second game in the NFL. Like when we get to the 3:30 games in the NFL, that's when they dropped the spread in college football for week 3 last year. That's what they did last year. So I don't know how they're gonna do it, but the spread should come out today. Like we shouldn't have to wait. Well, I shouldn't have to wait till Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday to get a spread on the game because I think we got early games starting in Wednesday. So spreads got to be out immediately. It got to be out today. I'm gonna say today. I'm gonna say they'll be out today, and then when they drop, I'm gonna be in the lab for week 3, so I can come back with some more winners. So I'll come back with 5 more winners next week. So we had a great weekend this week. A great weekend in college football. Great weekend. We're gonna come back with more winners next week. Northwestern +2 was locked. UNLV plus the 37. That was locked yesterday. Yeah, a whole lot of winners, man. Syracuse minus the 23. My one big loser yesterday was UMass. I thought UMass was good with them 7 points. They ended up losing by, I think they ended up losing by 14 yesterday. I thought UMass was locked with the 7. They really is garbage. Like if you let Miami, Ohio beat you by double digits, yeah, UMass is garbage. Like that just lets you know how terrible. What was that team that they opened up? I mean, New Mexico State. That just lets you know how terrible New Mexico State is. Right, for them to give up for New Mexico State to give up what? How many points they scored? They scored 41 points. Yeah, they scored 41 points. That just lets you know how terrible New Mexico State is. It's terrible. Terrible. Could never back New Mexico State. They got to be getting a boatload of points for me to back New Mexico State. That's a terrible That's a terrible football team, man. Terrible. So my college football record is 7-3. I'm 7-3 after 2 weeks. 7-3. See, first week of college football, I went 2-3. You know, that was the first week just to see how everything was looking, see the landscape, see what teams can cover what spreads and whatnot. And I just adjusted and came back strong in week 2. That's why we went 5-0. Because I stayed in the lab, man. I stayed in the lab. Like I was getting in the lab at like 3, 4 in the morning, and it wasn't coming out till like 7 o'clock that night, 8 o'clock that night. Like that's how long I was doing my research, and my research paid off because I'm a winner this weekend. Me and my clients are winners. See, that's what research do. It pays off. It pays off, man. It pays off. And it pays to be a client because you're a winner. And we're going to come back today in the NFL for some more winners. like 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 hours till kickoff. We already got one winner in, Detroit plus the points. I gave that out to you in my 14 parlay. In the NFL, if you locked in, if you tapped into it, you got one leg already in. Shouts out to Detroit. Shouts out to Detroit. And Patrick Mahomes looked normal with he looked mediocre without Travis Kelce, man. Patrick Mahomes looked like a regular quarterback, man. He don't look like MVP, none of that shit. He looked like a regular basic average quarterback without Travis Kelce. So if I was a Kansas City fan, I'd be panicking until you get Travis Kelce back, because Mahomes don't look like MVP without Travis Kelce. And all those drops, man, like all those guys that kept dropping the football, and I'm like, this is the same team that won the Super Bowl last year. Like they dropped all these drops. Like then the running back don't look the same. That's the same dude that said he played in the Super Bowl with a torn labrum. Like he don't even look the same because he played last year with a torn labrum, and it showed in the game Thursday. He didn't look fast. He looked slow, sluggish. Yeah, it's some things you need to. If you're a Kansas City fan, man, hey man, you got some problems, man. It's some problems in Kansas City right now. A whole lot of goddamn problems, and the problems ain't gonna go away anytime soon, because I'm hearing that he ain't gonna play in week 2. So Travis Kelce, I think he's gonna be out for week 2. Like that's what they saying. They saying he's gonna be out for week 2. So shit, you got to go to Jacksonville. Shit, hey, you keep taking losses, you might not make the playoffs. Just the NFL, man. We done seen it. I done seen teams that went to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, come back the next year, don't even make the playoffs. I done seen that. So I don't care if you got Mahomes or not. You keep losing, you won't be in the playoffs. So if I'm a Kansas City fan or I'm a Kansas City backer, I'm worried. I'm worried. I'm very worried. I need Travis Kelce back ASAP. You got to get on the winning. You got to get back to winning. But I was not impressed with Mahomes and them receivers. I was kind of disappointed because I expected more. I expected more from Patrick Mahomes, and even though I was going against him, I still expected more, because you're supposed to be MVP, and I expect more. When you MVP, I expect more. Just put it like that. When you get that status, I expect more from the MVP. Which you did what you could, but I expected more, and I ain't get it. So it is what it is. I ain't a Kansas City fan. I really don't got no team for real. Like I like a lot of teams. My team is the team that covers the spread. That's who my team is. Whatever team that covers the spread, that's the team that I like. Because I don't put my feelings off in the sports. Because you can't win like that. So I ain't got no favorite teams. I got a couple players that I like on certain teams, but I ain't got no favorite team, because I'm a gambler first. Before I'm a fan, I'm a gambler first. So I can't put no feelings off into it. I remember I had a client tell me, I gave him some plays, and he had one of his teams on there. He was talking about, oh, I can't bet against my team, man. That's my favorite team. And I was like, man, you gotta stop. You gotta get out your feelings with this, man. This gambling, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take your feelings out of it and think with a clear mind. And he was like, "Oh, I'm not betting against my team. I'm not betting against my team." I was like, "Okay, you do whatever you want to do." So he betted with his team, which I told him not to do, and his team lost. And I told him, he come back, jumped in my inbox, was like, "Hey man, you told me not to take my team, man. I should have listened to you." And I was like, "I tried to tell you, man. I tried to tell you, but you had your feelings all involved, and your feelings is the reason why you lost. That's why you can't put feelings in gambling, man. When we gambling, you can't put no feelings in this, man. No feelings involved. I don't care if this is your favorite team, you know, your daddy's favorite team or your mama's favorite team or your uncle's favorite team. It don't even matter, man. When it's gambling, ain't no favorites. Because the bookies do not care if that's your favorite team. They will take your money. If you lose, they will take your money. So we bet with a clear mind over here. So yeah, NFL Sunday in 5 hours. If you want more plays, you know where to hit me up at X, Instagram, and TikTok. We're gonna come back 10 times stronger for week 3. Shouts out to them 5 that got us that payday. If you want more plays, you know what to do. Hit me up, baby. Y'all have a great day.